Hi everyone!
Hello!
Just as a disclaimer, this video is not an instructional video. You should be responsible for your own safety and make your own decisions. If you can't pack your own reserve, you should do it with a qualified professional, or there's companies that you can send it off that will pack it for you and send it back. For us personally, we wanted to get more comfortable with our reserves, so we're making our own decisions to practice, get them out, get them packed, and go over and over again to hopefully get more familiar with them.
And we've done our research first. We've watched a lot of other videos on how to repack, we've looked at the manuals, and we've even reviewed footage of our old repacks so that we knew exactly what we're doing with our reserve parachutes.
Yeah, it's really specific, the way you pack your parachute compared to someone else's parachute. So you can look for tips and tricks on how to do things, but really you should look at your manufacturer's manual to how to do your parachute.
We've talked to a lot of other pilots and amongst ourselves recently a lot about the reserves because of the results that came out from Matt Wilkes' study.
The big takeaway from Matt's research is that paragliding pilots in general should get a tenfold or an order of magnitude more comfortable with their paragliding reserves. And that's, if you do it once a year, if you touch it once a year, that's only going to happen if you touch it at least 10 times a year. So trying to get our practice in, we're going to pull it out, throw it, and then repack it, and then do it over and over again.
So should we get it out then?
Let's do it. Do it.
I'm going to pull my reserve in the house. So that's where I went to, is my bum. But it's there. Okay, I'm just going to pull up.
There you go.
Well, that's nice to know that it doesn't come out so easily.
Oh, it looks dirty AF, Jen.
Oh, is this where I'm going to...
Try pulling up, see what happens. There you go. Wait. So let's see what we have here.
Oh wow, it is dirty as f***, isn't it?
Oh my god, this is... Is that sand? No, that's not sand.
It is.
There is some sand.
Yeah.
This is looking like it's just about to open, which is good. And if you hold it by the handle only, it's about to come out off, but it's not really off yet. That's good. So this would have gone... So this is attached to your harness. This thing is still locked and there's a few rubber bands keeping it together, so that's good. They look untangled enough. It looks like the leading edge is all exposed and stuff. So it would continue like that, wouldn't it? It's very thin, isn't it? Very small material. Having that little rubber band here minimizes the shock, because otherwise it could go there, and when you deploy it, it would do that, and you don't want that. So we're just in our local field. I've attached the reserve to the van, so hopefully that won't go anywhere. I'm just gonna try throwing it. I did a super fast, super sloppy pack job so that I could throw it today. It's a bit windy at times.
It came out perfectly.
There it goes. You can control it with the apex line. It's kind of like a beeline stall pulling on the middle. I think it's quite a bit of wind. So I wouldn't recommend having it out in so much wind. It does feel like it's about how much tension it would have if you were attached to it. So if your descent rate is like 5 meters a second, this might be about 5 meters per second wind, if you know what I mean. So it might be actually quite similar. But look, this is actually the stuff you should be looking for. So I think my reserve is getting a bit old and we'll need to replace it.
And your reserve has been pulled once before, but only in an SIV situation, right?
Yeah. Well, this is where I had to dry it afterwards. So I've been practicing this dance of trying to keep it in one place. Do you wanna do it, Jem? Oh, Gemma, this is YouTube gold. It just looks so pretty.
It is beautiful, isn't it? Way! Sorry. It's easy
Give Gemma a reserve and she tries to ground handle it. Nice. Put it together. I was doing this at Annecy before, but I don't think it's very useful just to do that.
It's like fighting a beast.
That kind of worked.
You probably could have, would need to be pulling down the centre apex as you're going towards it.
I just wanted it to be like, what's the word? You know, pick-upable, like a paraglider.
Yeah. Should we do mine?
Yeah, let's do yours.
Wow.
Almost. Straight up, straight up, straight up.
If anything.
No visible tangles. No lines knotted still, and the leading edge is exposed.
If anything, do you think that maybe it wasn't packed well enough, it wasn't packed tightly enough because I was still holding onto the bag when it deployed?
We'll put the slow motion here.
Yeah, but it's just that I threw the bag, and the bag, by the time I'd thrown the bag, this was already out of it, which is why the bag went so far away to the side.
We'll see, we'll see. Well, that's why we're packing it 10 times. Here we go, in all its glory. And I think it's
bigger, way bigger.
Same size or even bigger than mine. Look at our surprised voices. We should know this. Your apex is a lot tighter than mine. Your little donut ring.
My little butthole. It's been fun seeing these guys fly, but I think it's time to go and repack them.
Well, you lead the way, you have to do the thing, don't you? Yeah, so 1.
We'd done a lot of research in the lead up to doing our own repack, and we realised that a lot of people use pegboards to help tidy the lines and small weights to help hold down the cloth. So we started by making our own little pegboard made from some simple wood, and we made our own dowels. We've actually added improved plans for this and for the weights in the description below. We measured out 3 rectangles from some scrap cloth to make our weights, and we filled them with dry rice. We were going to use sand at first, but we realised that this might spill out and cause problems. They seemed to work out okay, and now we've got a complete set of accessories for every time we repack. We seem to be able to do it quite okay now when we do it as a pair, and they're coming out quite neat. Okay, so this is my first attempt at throwing the reserve parachute and repacking it on my own.
Using this little bit of cord that we've attached to the door hinge just to hold it taut, and I'll attach it at the other side. Okay, so it's finished, but it's probably looking worse than I've ever seen it look. But I'll still throw it next time and see how it goes, and hopefully repack it a bit better when I've got some help.
When we packed in pairs, we started to realise that we preferred not to use the pegboard, as it was easier to make minor adjustments freehand to get the loops to the correct size. But the pegboard and weights are a big help if you're doing this on your own. We made this pegboard pretty quick and not to the best standard, so we probably need to make a better version if we're going to keep using it. In general though, repacking is much easier if you do it with someone else.
And we've repacked them quite a few times now, so I think we've improved quite a lot and we're a lot better at it. So now we're going to repack them for the final time so that we can take them out with us next time we fly and have them installed as our reserve parachute.
That was a good one, wasn't it? I think I'm gonna do that as my new technique. The throw it in one go. Matt was maybe right.
3, 2, 1. Oh, it's hard.
It's hard, isn't it? Good job.
So that's it, we've repacked our reserves loads and now we've stowed them away nicely and they're ready to fly whenever we need to, and hopefully we'll never need to throw them in a real situation. What do you think? Do you think
I think it was
been worthwhile?
I think it was definitely worthwhile. I think it's really good. I think it's almost like, oh, later, and then before you know it, a few years have gone past since you've touched it. So I was popping it out is like, okay, there's no going back, we have to sort it out now. And it was actually not like an all or nothing. It was like, let's look at this over a few weeks, which is what we did. A day we'll do one repack or do 2 or 3, then a few days later would leave it, and then we did in total like maybe 10 or 15 repacks.
Because we've not been flying, there's not been any pressure to get it either whipped away really quickly or get it in and get it done. So we've been able to take them out casually and do it over a little bit of time, haven't we?
Which has been the problem in the past when we go to those repacks. It's almost like you have an hour to do it and that's it, and then you don't see the reserve ever again.
I was a bit scared of it, and I'd never seen it fly before because I've never had to deploy even in an SIV. I've not done my first SIV yet. So I'd never really seen it out and floating and didn't
have a good feel to what it is and what it feels like.
It's always been a really quick process of take it out, not really even get it out properly, just kind of refold it and put it straight back away. So I feel loads more familiar with it and loads more confident with the process in general.
And these are not ideal because these are old style. They're getting on a bit. They're still usable. They're getting on a bit, and they're rounds and pulled apex, which is not too bad, but a bit prone to oscillations. So we have a couple squares in the mail, so hopefully when they arrive we'll let you know what they're like, and we'll pack them quite a few times as well to get used to, because the process I'm sure will be different. But all in all, we want to really encourage you to take control and take responsibility for your own reserve and try to think about it more often rather than less often. We've been guilty of that.
And I think if you're planning on If you'd rather do it with a professional, great, but in the weeks leading up to it, or when you're not using it, get it out a few times and then take it to a professional, or send it off to get it done properly.
That's a good tip, so you can do 2 in 1.
Yeah, so that you're getting the practice of doing it. You realise it's not scary, but you've also got the peace of mind that it's done properly. So.
Yeah, that's really good idea. It's like ground handling or anything else, right? You're not going to do it once a year and be great at it. And the reserve is really integral part to keeping us safe. So hope this has helped you. As always, we're going to say a big thank you to all of these lovely people on Patreon that let us put in the time, Patreon and YouTube, that let us put in the time to do these videos. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already, and we'll see you soon.
See you soon.
Bye-bye.
Bye.